Hello, I'm Rhoda, and this is Africa in Perspective on Prime TV2. Now, from the stories that shape our nations to the voices that define our continent, we go beyond the headlines to bring you the Africa that you need to see. We have quite a number of interesting stories from around the continent. We start with South Africa. Now, the Democratic Alliance leader, John Steenhuisen, has announced that he will not stand for another term when the party elects its leadership in April, a decision that could raise concerns about the future of the country's coalition government. The DA, which is South Africa's second largest political party, joined a coalition with its long-term rival, the African National Congress, in 2024, after the ANC lost its parliamentary majority for the first time, a significant setback for the former ruling party. Now, Steenhuisen has led the pro-business DA since 2019 and currently serves as Minister of Agriculture in Cyril Ramaphosa's cabinet. Although many expected the 49-year-old to seek re-election, reports suggest he stepped aside following a series of internal and external controversies. Speaking at a press briefing, Steenhuisen said he intends to dedicate the remainder of his term to his role as Agriculture Minister, focusing on tackling what he describes as the most severe foot-and-mouth disease outbreak in the country that has been the worst it has ever experienced. Now, we do move on to South Sudan with another interesting story. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir has dismissed two senior officials after an embarrassing error, which a deceased man was appointed to an election planning panel. Now, the most interesting part is that a presidential decree issued on the 30th of January named Steward Soroba Budia, a member of the opposition United Democratic Party, to a committee tasked elections scheduled for December. Local media later revealed that Budia had died 5 years earlier, triggering widespread mockery online. Following the incident, Kiir removed his press secretary, David Arma Major, and of course the chief administrator in the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, Valentino Del Maluet. An official statement thanked them for their service, but did not give reasons for their dismissal. Now, Arma later said the president's office had relied on names submitted by stakeholders and admitted that inadequate verification led to the mistake. He did not identify those responsible, and the UDP has not commented on this issue yet. So the panel was formed to help pave way for long-delayed elections, though doubts remain as South Sudan also continues to face insecurity. The country has postponed elections several times since independence in 2011, while recent fighting has displaced more than 180,000 people, according to the United Nations. What an interesting story. Now we move on to Libya. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the son of former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, has reportedly been shot and killed. He was 53 years old and was once seen as the likely successor to his father. His death was confirmed on Tuesday by the head of his political team. So according to the Libyan news agency, his lawyer told AFP that a four-man armed group carried out the attack at his home in the city of Zintan. So now, it is still not known who was responsible. However, his sister gave a different account, saying he died near Libya's border with Algeria. Saif al-Islam was considered one of the most powerful and feared figures in Libya after his father, who ruled the country from 1969 until he was overthrown and killed in 2011. Born in 1972, Saif al-Islam played an important role in improving Libya's relations with Western countries from 2000 until the fall of Gaddafi government after his father was removed from power. Now, Saif al-Islam was accused of helping to violently suppress protests against the government. He was captured and held by a militia in Zintan, where he was imprisoned for nearly 6 years. So now the International Criminal Court wanted to try him for crimes against humanity over his alleged role in the 2011 crackdown on protesters. Now, when we take it back to 2015, a court in Tripoli sentenced him to death in his absence for his role in the violence. At that time, Tripoli was under the control of the United Nations-backed government. However, he was actually released 2 years later by a militia in eastern Libya under an amnesty law. So since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya has been divided among many armed groups, and it's now split between two rival governments. Even though Saif al-Islam never held an official government position during his father's rule, he had strong influence and led major negotiations. These included talks that led Libya to give up its nuclear weapons programs, which helped remove international sanctions on the country. So some people saw him as a reformer and the public face of a changing Libya. However, in 2021, he announced plans to run for president, but the elections were later postponed indefinitely. So now another trending story in Kenya that has caught the eyes of social media. The Kenyan Central Bank has issued a warning to the public over the growing trend of creating floral-style bouquets using banknotes, a practice that has become popular across the country, particularly in the lead up to Valentine's Day. Now, these cash bouquets are made by rolling and fastening banknotes of various denominations to resemble flowers. And of course, they have been widely promoted on social media by influencers and celebrities. So the CBK says such use of currency is illegal, describing it as a defacement of banknotes. The central bank noted that individuals involved could face up to 7 years in prison. So now the banknotes that are folded, glued, stapled, pinned, or otherwise altered compromise their integrity. Now, the CBK said in a statement, the bank added that damaged notes can cause problems for ATMs and cash counting machines while increasing the cost of replacing rejected currency. While the CBK does not oppose giving money as a gift, it urged people to find ways of presenting cash that do not damage the notes. Kenya, one of the world's leading flower producers, has seen some people welcome the warning, suggesting that traditional flower bouquets are a more suitable gift for Valentine's Day. So this announcement has also drawn reactions online, with some saying it offers relief for those who are found with cash bouquets or those that find cash bouquets costly or wasteful. So back to basics, a bouquet of flowers it is, one social media user commented, reflecting the sentiment of many. We move on to Somali, and authorities in Puntland, a semi-autonomous region of Somalia, has executed a woman convicted of murdering a 14-year-old girl, marking a rare instance in the region where the death penalty has been applied to a female offender. Hodan Muhammad Diriye, 34, was put to death by firing squad on Tuesday in Galkayo after a court found her responsible for fatally beating a teenage domestic worker. The death of Sabirin Sailin in November has sparked public protest in Galkayo and renewed demands for stronger child protection measures. The case resonated deeply in a country where child abuse often goes unreported, particularly when it occurs within extended families. Officials stated that the execution was to seek the perpetrator's execution rather than accept monetary compensation. So a local decree in the Madag region where the crime occurred mandates the enforcement of Islamic law in such cases. Faisal Shakir Ali, the governor of Madag, said the members of both Sabirin and Diriye's families were present during the execution. Puntland authorities noted that this is the first time in over a decade that a woman has been executed under returnatory sentence in the region. So the last recorded execution of a woman there was in 2013 when 13 members of the Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab, including one woman, were executed by firing squad for their role in the killing of a prominent Islamic scholar, according to officials at the time. Well, some interesting stories, but we move on to one of the most entertaining entertainment story around the continent. So, Nigerian musician FELA Anikulapo Kuti has been posthumously honored with the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, becoming the first African artist to receive prestigious accolade. The award was presented at the 68th Annual Grammy Award Special Merit Ceremony in Los Angeles. FELA Kuti, widely regarded as the father of Afrobeat, revolutionized music by blending jazz, funk, traditional African rhythms with sharp social and political commentary. His songs challenged corruption, oppression, and injustice in Nigeria and across Africa, leaving a lasting global impact. The award was accepted by members of his family, including his children, Femi, Yeni, Kuntle, Shalewa, Kuti, and those who attended the ceremony to celebrate his enduring legacy. So Yeni Kuti, speaking at the event, highlighted how her father's music continues to inspire generations of musicians and activists worldwide. FELA joins a distinguished list of music legends honored at the ceremony, including Whitney Houston, Chaka Khan, Paul Simon, and Carlos Santana. Nigeria's president also paid tribute, calling FELA's fearless voice, whose artistry reshaped global music and culture. Music experts say the recognition marks a historic milestone for African music, underscoring FELA Kuti's role in elevating the continent's sound and influence on the world stage. Nearly 3 decades after his death in 1997, FELA's work continues to resonate, demonstrating the timeless power of music as a tool for change. Now, that's all for today on Africa in Perspective. My name is Rhoda. I continue bringing you the stories that matter from across the nation.